you lose 600 basis points just to move the electricity down a power line a few miles. So 600 basis points is the transaction fee right now. You can get to 60, probably 30. Last I checked, the transaction fee on the Bitcoin network was 1 basis point. Like you were literally paying 1/100th% of the value transferred as transaction fee. And that was pretty extraordinary to me.
Hello and welcome. This is The Daily Crypto. How is it that Bitcoin is digital energy? How does it transform the world of finance? What is the next innovative work on Bitcoin? Keep watching to find out as we answer these questions with Michael Saylor. Engineering and technology seems to be moving forward, building on past achievements, while philosophies and morality are, in our minds, immutable. What is Michael Saylor's philosophy? As he puts it, if you want to better the human condition, you are better off investing in technical solutions than political solutions.
And that's why I say Bitcoin as digital energy is a technical solution, non-controversial, the successor to electricity. Bitcoin as a digital currency is a political solution, highly controversial, revolutionary. One is revolutionary and the other is evolutionary. One of them is political, the other one is technical. One of them, invites engineering professors to consider whether this is sound or not. The other invites economic professors. And so you can see, like, in winning the battle of the hearts and the minds, are you more likely to convince an engineer that Bitcoin is good or convince an economist that Bitcoin is good?
We have seen so much technological and engineering progress. Maybe what we have now done is tried to take the studies of what matters and try to place them in an empirical box and use engineering-type modalities to try to fix the world with these ideas of central planning of an entire economy, or complex systems distilled into simple models. In that case, how can Bitcoin change the world of finance as we know it?
What I have to say about Bitcoin is Bitcoin represents, it is matter and energy in cyberspace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big idea we ought to focus on, and we ought to be sending that message to all engineers everywhere that without Bitcoin, you don't have matter or energy in cyberspace, and everything that exists in the internet domain and the digital domain is merely a simulation or a model of something in the real world. The significance of being able to transfer something of value without an intermediary means that if I can transfer it to you without an intermediary, I can instantiate it or I can manifest it without an intermediary. And that means it stands alone in cyberspace rather than being an image of something that is in the real world. The image in the real world makes it a security, whereas when you actually manifest the actual unit, the Satoshi, in the digital realm, it is matter. I can create something of substance in the digital realm using Bitcoin. And if that's the case, then that introduces the field of engineering and physics.
That field of engineering, physics, and cyberspace is what has been missing in the entire digital realm. The digital space in the last 30 years has lacked matter and energy. According to Saylor, simulations, which meant that computer science might have been relevant, but all the other sciences were irrelevant. Like all of the fields of mechanical engineering, civil engineering, thermodynamics, material science, and aeronautical engineering were not relevant since there was no matter and energy.
So I think that what makes Bitcoin magical is that for the first time we introduce this concept of, someone someone on Twitter the other day was talking about irreversible transactions. They said, why was Satoshi so fascinated by irreversible transactions? And they approached it from a very, I think, a narrow point of view. The idea like, well, we can't have irreversible transactions because that allows, we can't fix money laundering and we can't censor, and how do we get control of the system? But my thought was, yeah, Satoshi wanted irreversible transactions, but the idea for irreversible transactions came from the great almighty.
He continues.
When you actually introduce the concept of irreversibility, you introduce entropy and time, right? The progression of time is the progression of disorder, and they're inextricably intertwined, and matter and energy are inextricably intertwined. And Bitcoin is like that Big Bang. And in the Big Bang, in the beginning, right, there was nothing. And then all of a sudden, the time chain starts to form, and there's irreversibility. And now there's the passage of time. And now there's electricity run through the SHA-256 protocol to become digitized energy, a digital asset. And the beauty of the protocol was it was introduced as a conservative protocol, not an open-ended protocol, right? One that the universe has a bound of 21 million. And, and because we had that, we had, for the first time, this sort of bearer instrument that represents energy that's conservative. And if I can transfer it to myself, to yourself, without an intermediary, then I can instantiate it.
If it can be instantiated, then it can persist. Saylor adds that the ability to persist energy without an intermediary is what allowed us to cut the cord with the banks. So what would be the next innovative work on Bitcoin or from the advent of cryptocurrencies?
Innovative work is to be done on top of Bitcoin, either developing, expanding new Lightning libraries and harnessing the Lightning protocol, or building applications using various parts of the Lightning protocol, or improving it, or building on layer 3s and just building proprietary centralized applications that have Bitcoin embedded in them. And I think that there's been an underinvestment in that, and there's been an overinvestment in creating new base layer chains. Way too much focus on proof of stake networks, and like 19,800 coins, and I look at all of it, and I'm hard pressed to see, but just endless recursive financial engineering, without solving the fundamental problems. Whereas the fundamental problems that are interesting are things like if you can stream sats, then why couldn't I actually spin up a spaces where anybody that shows up that meets a certain credential filter gets 100 sats a second or 1,000 sats a second, and then I'd literally be like shining sunshine on you, right? Like if I stream sats by the second or by the millisecond, it's literally like shining sunshine.
Michael Saylor indicates that crypto is not just digital energy, but it is digital matter, a very particular type of matter to be exact. It is tough enough to have something built on it and reasonably expect it to layer.
What do I want? I want the building to last 100 years, but I also want it to be 100 stories high. And 100 stories high is working against gravity, right? And if you think about the energy and gravity on the 100th story versus the first level of the building, you needed some kind of material that had enormous energy density, metallic energy. And steel is the highest density metallic form of energy, or the most powerful metallic energy, manifested as matter, right? But if you ever walked into a steel refinery and you looked at how they created it, there would be no doubt in your mind a lot of energy goes into it. Extraordinary energy goes into it in order to create that material. So I think if we look forward in the coming age, the human race is held back by lack of certain materials, and when you find the material, then you can leap forward and you can break through all of these constraints.
Saylor says that we spend a lot of time reimagining Bitcoin as nation-state currencies, but that is one of the things people fight over the most. He points out that if we could just go back to reimagining a family's balance sheet or a company's balance sheet, a value asset, insurance policy, banks, social networks, firewalls, these are less controversial. They are either financial innovation or technological innovation that are waiting for the right Bitcoin entrepreneur to build that product or service.
The human race or improve the human condition. I think re-engineering all those things with digital energy is critical.
Saylor adds that once you punch a button, it runs the file back into the piano with the aid of electricity and the song plays itself. Now you can play the song for as long as you like.
If I wish to transcend time and space, I digitally transform the music from analog to digital. And then when I want to listen to it again and enjoy it, I transform it back from digital back to analog. I reverse the transaction, and it involves some machines, some electricity, some computer chips on either side. Now let's take energy. I run a nuclear power plant. I generate $1 billion worth of energy. I can pump it into the grid. It'll be gone in a few minutes. 1,000 years from now, it's gone. I generated in the year 2022. In the year 3022, it's gone. That's analog energy. That is electricity. If I take the $1 billion of electricity and instead I sell it for $1 billion of political energy, we call dollars, then I trade the political energy for digital energy we call Bitcoin.
When Bitcoin is sent, there is no double spend. One loses the copy, another gains it.
You lose 600 basis points just to move the electricity down a power line a few miles. So 600 basis points is the transaction fee right now. You can get to 60, probably 30. Last I checked, the transaction fee on the Bitcoin network was 1 basis point. Like you were literally paying 1/100% of the value transferred as transaction fee. And that was pretty extraordinary to me. So when I think of and refer to Bitcoin as digital energy, what I mean is you can literally transform any form of energy, and people need to think more broadly. Oil is energy, natural gas is energy, electricity is energy, money is energy, euros, yen, won are energy, food is energy, work is energy, water in a dam upstream is energy. They're all energy. And you transform them into different types of energy. Eventually, you'll probably flip through a political energy we call fiat currency, and then you'll convert that. These are heat exchanges or energy exchanges, right? Mm-hmm. You're just transforming one type of energy to another.
Thanks for watching this video. What do you think Bitcoin will be like in the coming decades? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Don't forget to smash that like button, share our video with your friends and family, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you on the next one. Bye for now.